Good morning, folks. Today is December 29th, 2020. And I am in Memphis, Tennessee at the pilot. I call it the ghetto pilot because every time I come here I get those folks that knock on your window and trying to sell you everything from batteries to women and everything else. And I hate stopping here sometimes, but I mean, hey, I gotta stop here. But I'm headed to South Holland, Illinois. Some of you folks might know what that is. That's basically Chicago. And I'm going up there to deliver a load, and hopefully I can get a reload headed back south, get home. But today, I want to talk about being an over-the-road truck driver and dealing with difficulties back home. And touch on a few things that may happen or may arise. But dealing with our reaction as far as truck drivers and making sure that we're being safe when dealing with difficulties back at home, as well as, how our spouses and our loved ones react to us when we get home. So the first thing I want to talk about is severity. The first subject I want to talk on is severity. Depending on how serious an argument is, you might want to pull over. If an argument is very serious and you're in a heated argument or a heated battle with, your spouse or your kid, you might want to pull over. Because even though your eyes are open and you're looking at the road, your mind is not visualizing what you're looking at, because your mind is visualizing what's happening back at home. Your mind is visualizing, the argument or the disagreement that you may be having. So if it's serious enough and it's going to distract you, then you may want to pull over. If you want to avoid that because you have deadlines to meet, then serious conversations that are super serious, you might just want to, wait to have those until your day is over. But if your spouse or your kids call you in the middle of your work day and they're calling you with a serious situation, you probably shouldn't have that conversation, especially if you're driving, because you can definitely, lose focus. The other thing I want to talk about is, other point touch on is avoiding arguments, avoiding difficulties. Now, how you avoid these some of the times is to be unoffended or unoffendable. Don't allow certain things to offend you, even though folks may do things that you may not agree with. They may go with a move that like, no, we don't rock like that, but hey, that's what they went with, that's what they did. So you can't allow that to offend you while you're out. And the reason why you can't allow that to offend you is because you can't be consumed by it, because you're on the road, you're driving, you're working. You don't want to be thinking about that all the time, because you may miss something. And if you miss something, somebody can lose their life. And you could possibly lose out on your whole career. So you don't want that to happen. So we need to learn to be unoffendable when we're on the road, when we're out. Just don't let things bother us. Try to find a way to block it out of your mind, or try to find a way to table it until you get home. If it means, jotting it down on a piece of paper, praying about it, doing what you have to do to just say, hey, I'm not going to be consumed by something that, just happened, or something that's going on at home that, I'm definitely going to address when I get home. So let's try our best not to be offended or try to be unoffendable. The other thing is, don't take folks' reactions to things you might say, or when having a difficulty. Don't take their reaction or things they may say too serious. You have to take it with a grain of salt. A lot of times, me and my wife may have an argument about something, and she may say something on the phone, and I'll be like, I will get upset about it, because I'm like, why would you say something like that? And I know if we were there in each other's faces, because we are, because we're in love with each other, basically. Because we're in love with each other, we don't handle things, in, a lot of times in a negative way. A lot of times we're just lovey-dovey, all under each other, and, we're just trying to love each other. And so therefore, if we do have a difficult situation, as we're talking, we're kissing or whatever, I'm very affectionate. That's me. I like to kiss. You see, I got big lips. I love to kiss. That's just me. But when I'm out, and if my wife reacts to something in a negative manner, I'm learning, and I want you guys to not take that so serious. Take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of times people will react to things, in a way because you're not there. Some people will be agreeable because they just want to shut you up. Some folks will be argumentative because they feel like, hey, you're not here. There's nothing you can do about that current situation. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. Okay. And the last thing is, when dealing with difficulties, when you get home, depending on how severe the difficulty is or was, don't allow that to be the first thing that comes out of your mouth. The reason being, every time you get home, your family, your kids, they're going to think, I have to deal with this difficult situation. And that in turn is going to have them with a mindset of, man, I hope he doesn't come home. They're going to dread you walking through that door. Because every time you walk through that door, hey, we have to have an argument. We have to have a conversation. This, that, and the third. No. I'm not saying not to address situations, but don't allow that to be the first thing that comes out of your mouth when you touch the door. A lot of times when I get home, what I like to do is play games, cards with the kids. I like to take my wife out to eat, take them shopping, whatever, we do to enjoy ourselves. Every family have their thing that they like to do together, and those are the things that you want to do initially when you walk through the door. You want to let them know that you love them, you miss them, and you want to just come and be with them. And you'll address whatever needs to be addressed, later on that night or the next day, or when you're pillow talking, whenever, it's the mood has been lightened. But initially when you walk through the door, you don't want that to happen, because you don't want them dreading you coming home. So, that's how I feel about difficulties. And so, if you have any comments, please leave them. Any suggestions that can make me better in how I deal with my difficulties, please leave them. And subscribe to the channel. Peace.